mean real compromises. Fake solutions don't require real compromises. They require, it has to look like certain things, but they're not long lasting. You know, talking about something and not acting on it doesn't actually do something. One of my books is a relationships book. I talk about men in general. You know, men, we like to talk. We don't always like to act. Right? We like to explain things to our wives. We like to talk about it. We don't actually want to follow up with action. So the fake solution is talking about it. The real solution is backing up the talk with action. And if we want to get to a place in our life where we're actually working towards real solutions, we have to back up that talk with actual actions, and not just words. Because at some point, it stops being about what we talk about. It actually becomes who we are through our actions, and not only through our words. In today's world, there isn't a person who could say, I can't. We all can. There's limitless opportunity to if we don't have the perfect job, we don't have the right job, the opportunities that exist today are far beyond any expectations we had 100 years ago. 100 years ago, you were born into a family, chances are that's what you did for the rest of your life. 100, 200 years ago, you were a farmer. Family was farming, you were a farmer. Family was this, you were that. There was a road paved already for you. Today's world, we have so much more opportunities. It requires work and everything, but opportunities are there. You can go online and find somewhere in the world, or right here in wherever you live, and find the perfect place for you. Also, the social web, Twitter, Facebook, which another one of my semi-addictions is not Facebook for me. I'm not one of those who have all kinds of friends around the world who I talk to, but people ask me questions and I like to answer them personally on Twitter, on Facebook, on email, and one of those things that I'm also trying to balance between that and I already hear my sons, as I'm saying this, I hear my son's voice, Dad, are you on Facebook again? And anyway, but in today's world, we have the power. On average, a person has 100 Facebook friends, 100 Twitter friends. If you have something to say, if you have something you want to share, you can no longer say there's no one to share it with. Even if you live in a small town, which most of us don't. But even if you do, there's still people you can share it with. There's still people who will want to hear what you have to say. The opportunities are also limitless. We have unlimited opportunity in this world today. But with that also comes responsibility. Because if you can't share, then you must share. If you can find the ultimate solution, go and find it. No, the excuses that existed hundreds of years ago don't exist anymore. Don't blame anybody but yourself for anything, because the opportunities are out there. Because in today's world, you can. And no matter where we are in our, how much power we think we have or don't have, even sometimes small actions have big manifestations, have big reactions. Especially as we move into this world is so much closer. We could be anywhere in the world and contacting people from anywhere in the world, talking to people from anywhere in the world. I'll share a small story about action and reaction. One of my good friends, he also happens to be a famous person. I'm not trying to drop a name or, it's just a story that happens, I'm just going to share it. One of my best friends is Ashley Fisher. And he does, I don't know, he does these Nikon commercials. You ever see it on TV, he does these Nikon commercials. Originally, when Nikon came to him and said, do you want to do this? He said, nah, I wasn't into doing this Nikon commercial. 2 weeks later, he was in New York, and he met a lady who was doing research on biology, and told him, I really need a microscope to continue my research, a very specific microscope. And he said, okay. He found out that Nikon makes that microscope. So after that conversation, he goes back to his agent and he says, tell Nikon I'll do these commercials, but they also have to donate a microscope to this lady. Great. Even if the story ended there, it would be very nice. Nikon, when he does these commercials, he gives that. A month ago, he's browsing online and he sees a story in Reuters. The lady that he gave the microscope to Nikon, actually discovered a gene for some disease. Using the microscope that he gave because he did the Nikon commercials. And maybe, if he doesn't do that, that's never discovered. And sometimes we do actions. Sometimes we don't even see the reaction. We may do a favor for someone. And then we go and we don't realize the manifestation or where it actually ends up. Sometimes we do, but more often we don't. We don't always see, the chain of events, all the dominoes that happen from doing our positive action to the actual result of that. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And we need to be able to act and go as if we see, even though we don't always see. But if we do enough, eventually we'll see. Eventually it's going to come around back to us. Either directly, where we do a favor for person A, they do to B, to C, and then it comes back to us. Sometimes that circle happens. Often it's a bigger circle and we don't even connect the dots. Because by the time it comes around to us, it's so far away that we don't always connect it. But we need to know. One thing we need to know, that any energy we give out to the universe, that energy will come in. Whether it's positive or negative. If we throw out positive energy to the world, that energy will eventually come back to us. If we throw out negative energy into the world, that energy will come back to us. And it's not always immediate. It's not always right away. But it does come back. Sometimes it looks like very positive people have not such great existence right now. And sometimes it looks like people are doing negative actions seem to have such good things and such great things. The universe doesn't lie. Eventually, everything becomes clear. It may take a year, it may take 5, it may take 10. But positive energy brings back positive energy. Negative energy brings back negative energy. That's one of those laws of the universe. It just doesn't always look, because time little messes. One thing the universe is not great at is time. It's not a 1-to-1. You put in, you get out. The time thing somehow gets a little confusing. You put energy today, but it comes back 3 days later. You put energy today, it comes back a week, a month. But energy always comes back. Always comes back to its original place. And anything we put out eventually comes back. And the one thing we need to constantly